everyone, Chef Erin here. Congratulations, CITs. I hear you're making a snack for the entire camp on Friday. So I've put together a fun menu using foods from scriptures. Are you ready? It's all on you. This snack is gonna be yummy. The first snack we're gonna put together is a cucumber, cream cheese, and dill pinwheel. So what you'll need is a grater, your cucumber, a bowl with a towel. We're gonna take the cucumber and just grate it over the grater. We're doing this in a bowl over a towel because we're gonna squeeze all of this excess water out of our cucumber. Now be careful we don't go too fast. We don't wanna grate our fingers. So make sure you're concentrating on this. Once you have your cucumber grated, we're gonna take this towel, give it a twist, and squeeze out all that excess cucumber water. Now this is really refreshing. You can save this to drink if you like, or add it to your water. In the Bible, the cucumber symbolizes refreshment, abundance, and vitality. The cucumber reminds us that in times of hardship, God ensures that His children are nourished and cared for always. Look at that, it's nice and dry. So we're gonna take our wraps and our cream cheese and just spread it on top of the entire wrap. Now my cream cheese has been sitting out at room temperature for a little bit, so it's nice and soft and very, very easy to spread. Now remember, your volunteers are there to help you if you need it. But CITs, you should be able to handle this one. It's nice and simple, and it's going to be delicious. So once you have the entire tortilla wrap covered with cream cheese, we're gonna take some of that cucumber that we've drained and just sprinkle it on the entire surface. How refreshing does that look? Once we have that done, we have some fresh dill. Fresh dill is nice and fresh, and it's grown in the Holy Land since ancient times. It's got the same flavor compound as anise, which you'll often find in black licorice. Okay, once you have it spread over edge to edge, we're gonna take our tortilla and we're gonna roll it nice and tight, very similar to sushi. Once your wrap is rolled, we're gonna leave it there to rest for a few minutes so it tightens up and it's really easy to slice. Okay, now that we have our tortillas rolled and they've rested, we're gonna slice these into pinwheels. I'm looking forward to that refreshing flavor of the cucumber. Wow, look at those. Well done, CITs. I hope everyone enjoys them. Hi CITs, Chef Erin here again. Adam and Eve ate an ideal diet from the Garden of Eden. So what better way to celebrate that than with vegetables from the garden? These are the fruits and vegetables of Adam and Eve through Eden. God gave Adam and Eve plants that bear seeds to continue growing. So let's start off with carrots. Here I have an orange carrot and a yellow carrot. We're just gonna peel the carrot using a peeler. And remember, if you need help, your volunteers are there. Now be sure to wash all of the vegetables before we start. Once our carrot is done, we're gonna take a knife and again, make sure we're concentrating. We're gonna trim the top and the bottom off of the carrots. Now these are fun little veggie cups, or also known as crudité cups. We're gonna serve them in some little glass or plastic containers. So we wanna make sure we're cutting them with a little bit of length to them. And again, you've got helpers there, so make sure we have help if we need it. So we're just gonna cut these veggies into sticks. We've got some yellow carrots there. How cool are they? And then we'll add some orange carrots there. And again, remember, let's make sure we're concentrating so we keep all those fingers on your hand. Next, we've got celery. Again, make sure it's washed, and we're just gonna cut it down similar length to the carrot. We've got some beautiful red radish. We're gonna trim the tops and bottoms off of these. You can also use a peeler or even a smaller knife, whatever you have available to you in the church kitchen. And we're just gonna quarter these. Look how pretty the color is on these. And then of course we've got tomatoes, which are a fruit, which bear seeds. So we are doing Adam and Eve proud. We're gonna take our little cups and our dressing that we have. We're gonna add a little bit of dressing to each of our little cups. Now remember, if we spill, we can always clean up before we share our snack. And we're gonna take some of those celery sticks and stick them right in there. Some of those carrot sticks, a few radish, look how pretty they are, and a couple cherry tomatoes. We'll just give them a little wipe anywhere that we've spilt. And there you go, everyone. You've got some Adam and Eve veggie cups. Now, I'm sure you all know the main veg or main fruit that Adam and Eve shared. We're not adding it, but they are delicious. Enjoy, everyone. Okay, CITs, the next recipe is manna from heaven. Bread that fell from the sky. So the first thing we want to do is follow the recipe. So we will be using a scale and measuring cups and measuring spoons for this recipe. The first thing you want to do is take a small bowl, take 45 grams of dry active yeast that you've weighed on your scale and put that into the bowl. Next, you're gonna add 600 milliliters of warm water. Now, when I say warm water, think of body temperature. So it's not hot, but it's not cold. Pour that right on top of the yeast. Now, yeast needs sugar to grow and to help it ferment. So this is where we're adding honey, which is also a beautiful ingredient found in scripture. Today we're adding 25 milliliters of honey right to our beautiful yeast mixture. Just take a spoon or a fork and stir that together. Okay, now because of the warm water, this yeast is going to ferment, which means it's going to start to bubble and grow. And the honey is feeding it. Okay, so we want it to feed so it grows. Just like you guys, when you eat, you grow too. As you can see, it's clumped up here, no problem. Just break it down in that warm water. Now we're gonna put that off to the side and we're gonna start with our flour mixture. I have a large bowl here and a sieve. So we're gonna take our 900 grams of all-purpose flour, which we've weighed on the scale, and we're gonna sift it, making sure that there are no clumps. Let's look at that yeast and see how it's doing. See how it's starting to get nice and thick and starting to froth up really nice. Okay, here we have our flour completely sifted. Now to that flour, we're going to add our salt, 25 milliliters. This is where you'll use your measuring spoons to weigh that out. Then just take a spoon and mix that together. Now let's look back at our beautiful yeast mixture. Oh, it's coming along. A few more minutes and we'll be ready. Okay, as you can see, our yeast has started to ferment. Look at those bubbles in there. So now we're gonna add our olive oil to it, make it really nice and rich for this manna. Manna focaccia is what we're making. So in our bowl that has our flour and salt, we're gonna pour in all of this beautiful yeast. Okay, make sure you scrape your bowl out. You get all of that yeast mixture with the honey. Now using a wooden spoon, we're we're just gonna start to spin it, stir it, and then we're gonna knead it. This is where it's gonna get a little messy, so make sure you have a nice big workstation to work at. And CITs, if you need help, make sure you get those volunteers in there with you. This turns really fun. Wow, look at that. See how it's coming together? Now that's as far as I can take it in the bowl. What I have here is some extra flour. We call this bench flour. So I'm gonna give my table a light sprinkling. Okay, and it's just some extra all-purpose flour because that's the same flour we've used to make this manna focaccia. Make sure we scrape our bowl out, scrape our wooden spoon. Now, make sure you've got some clean hands because this is where the kneading action happens. And have that flour on standby to help if it continues to stick to your hands. See how it's sticking a little bit? A little dusting of flour will help prevent that. Now, when we're kneading, I'm using the heel of my hands. I'm using my fingertips to bring it close to me and the heel to provide some pressure. This is going to help activate the gluten in the flour. I'm a little sticky. Just add a little flour. And we're just going to do this until our beautiful dough comes together. Okay, CITs, now that we have our beautiful dough ready here, we're going to take a nice clean bowl, pour a little bit of olive oil in there, take our beautiful dough, spin it around, flip it, and flip it back. That way the entire dough has a beautiful coating of olive oil on it. Then we're going to take plastic wrap and we're going to wrap over the entire bowl. And we're going to put this somewhere warm. So probably by the stove or the oven is the best place. And this is going to help it ferment and grow. So I'm going to put that over there. And now we're going to work on the toppings for our beautiful manna focaccia. So we have olives here. Olives symbolize peace, reconciliation. The olive tree represents beauty, peace, and abundance. Okay, it is such a powerful imagery in scripture, and it's used to convey various aspects of faith and spirituality. So with the olives, we're just going to slice them in half. Now today I'm using queen olives, but you could use any type of olives. Kalamata olives, Niçoise olives, anything you like. We're just going to slice those in half and put them aside. Once our dough is ready, we're going to put it all together and then we're going to bake it. Okay, CITs, the next step to this manna focaccia is we're going to take a baking sheet, a half baking sheet, and some olive oil. Again, that beautiful symbol of olives. We're going to put a good amount on the bottom of this baking tray or baking sheet. Now look at our dough. Let's uncover this and see how much it's grown or fermented. It's beautiful. We're going to take this and slide it right out of the bowl. This is where we're going to dip our hands in a little bit of the oil. And now we're just going to press gently, filling our tray with this beautiful dough. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. We'll get it as close to the edge as possible. You can even pick it up and stretch it a little bit. Then we're going to take our fingers and just dock it. Now those beautiful olives that we sliced earlier, we're going to drop them on the dough, completely random. Once we have them in the dough, we're going to give them a little press. That way, when the dough grows and bakes, it bakes around the olives and it keeps it in the bread for flavor and beauty. Now keep in mind, if you're making this at home for your families, you can add anything to the top. Maybe some beautiful cherry tomatoes from the Garden of Eden, coriander seeds, dill seed. Okay, a little press. A final stretch and dock. And now let's take this to the oven. Our oven is preheated at 400 degrees, just as your instructions state. We're gonna go into the oven for about 12 to 14 minutes until it's beautiful and golden. Now remember, the oven is hot, so if you need your volunteers to help, make sure you ask. Okay, CITs, our timer is up, so let's check our mano focaccia. Make sure you've got some dry oven mitts or dry towels, and get a volunteer to help you if you need to. It's gotten a little loud in our kitchen with our fans, but look at this beautiful mano focaccia. Isn't that gorgeous with the olives and the golden color of the bread? This looks like a shareable item. Come on over. Once this beautiful bread cools down, we can take it out of the tray, we can slice it up, and we can enjoy it with each other. Good for you, CITs. I'm super proud. Hey, counselors in training, it's Chef Erin again. Right now, we're gonna put together some garlic hummus. So here we have a food processor. This is the machine we're gonna use to puree and combine all of our ingredients. So the first thing we wanna start off with is some tahini. We're gonna place that right inside our food processor. And remember, the volunteers are there to help you if you're unsure of how to use any of the equipment. Next, we're gonna put in some fresh garlic. This is a fun way to smash the fresh garlic. Add that into your canister as well. We've got some canned chickpeas ready to be pureed. Next, we're gonna do some lemon juice. So we've got a fresh lemon. We're gonna roll it and press it, apply some pressure, take a knife, slice it down the center. As you can see, there's seeds in this lemon, so we're gonna use this mini strainer. We're gonna strain it right over, 30 milliliters. So make sure we're measuring all our ingredients and following the recipe. After that, we're gonna have some olive oil here, extra virgin olive oil, 60 milliliters. In it goes. And we're gonna match that with some vegetable or canola oil, 60 mils. Now we're gonna seal the lid here and we're gonna turn it on. It's very likely that Jesus would have eaten hummus as it's mentioned in the book of Ruth. Come hither and eat of the bread and dip thy morsel in hummus. So you're going to do that. We're gonna turn this machine on. It's pureeing very, very nicely. Two other ingredients that you'll want to add are some salt and pepper. So we're just going to place this right into the hole of our machine. If your machine doesn't have a hole, you can always take off the lid and put the lid back on. Okay, while that's pureeing, come with me. My secret ingredient to hummus, to making it nice and smooth, is to add some ice. So I think I have a little bit of ice in my ice maker. Think there's enough? I think so. All right. This is going to help break down those chickpeas into a nice smooth puree. So we're going to stop the machine. Add about half a cup of ice cubes. And back on we go. Just cover that hole so Chef Erin doesn't get covered in chickpeas. Wow, this smells delicious, everybody. Okay, as you can hear, the ice cubes have all completely been pulsed. All the chickpeas are pulsed, so let's take a look at our garlic hummus. Look how smooth that is. Wow. So enjoy this with your Garden of Eden veggies or that manna focaccia that we made the other day. I made some focaccia chips. That's chef approved. All right, CITs, this snack is going to be delicious. We're making honey raisin cornbread muffins. So the first thing you want to do is take your cornmeal, which has already been measured for me. So 1 cup with 2 tablespoons into a large bowl. Then you're going to take 1 cup of flour, which has already been sifted, and add that right to the cornmeal. 2/3 cups of sugar, in it goes. Some baking powder, 1 tablespoon. Excellent. And a little pinch of salt. Perfect. Now we're going to take that and we're just going to whisk it together to combine the cornmeal and flour. Now we're going to put that off to the side. In a separate bowl, we're going to add our oil. In it goes. I have some melted butter here. Now remember, if melting, you can use a microwave or you can use a stovetop. But remember, your volunteers are there to help you. Okay, we're also going to add our raisins. Okay, so raisins were often used as an offering to the gods in religious ceremonies. They also add that sweet flavor that was believed to bring good fortune. We're going to add some liquid gold, which is honey. And we've got our milk measured here, which is 1 cup. And to our milk, we're going to add our eggs. So we want to make sure we crack them, make sure we don't get any shells in our milk. That's the fun part. And then right inside that goes as well. Take your whisk and we're just going to whisk that together. Once the eggs are completely broken up and whisked together, we're going to add this wet mixture into our dry mixture. So we'll bring back our cornmeal. We'll add all of this right in. And now we're going to switch over to a spatula. And we're just going to mix it until it's all combined nicely. There's a little bit of action happening in the kitchen today behind me. Lots of chefs in the kitchen. You can never have too many cooks in the kitchen. Okay? So corn is actually a symbol that's used in the gospel quite often. Okay? The likeness of those who spend their wealth in a way of Allah is as the likeness of a grain. And with it being summertime right now, and especially August, our local corn is absolutely delicious. Incredibly sweet. You don't need any butter, no salt, just eat it as is. So there we have, our mixture is completely combined. We don't see any flour pockets in there. So make sure you take a lined a lined muffin sheet. Okay? Use the scoop that I provided for you. It's a perfect measurement. We're going to scoop that out right into the center of the papers. These are going to be beautiful muffins that we'll be able to share with each other. Now, our oven is preheated to 350. So once this tray is full, we're going to take it over to the oven and we're going to bake them until they're golden on the top. And if you insert a toothpick and it comes out nice and clean, you know your muffins are done. Okay, so we've pulled our cornbread raisin muffins out of the oven. Now remember, the oven was very hot, so make sure you've got oven mitts or dry towels. I have a toothpick here. We're going to insert it into the muffin. If it comes out clean, it's ready. Wow, they are done and perfect. So what we want to do is we want to remove them from the muffin rack or muffin tin and let them cool down before we enjoy these. And I hope everybody enjoys their snack today, created by your CITs who were wonderful in the kitchen. Enjoy your day, everybody.